Well, this is Jesse with Atomic Air Motors coming at you again from PBG West. I have spent the last few days working on this wonderful 56 Plymouth. However, now I'm at a standstill on parts. I'm about 4 days out before I get any of the other parts I need for it. So I bought something else, and that is what this episode is about. If you look way out there, what is that turquoise truck? Let's load up the tool truck slash parts buggy and go see what it is. Much too far to drive over there, so let's take this. Has no brakes. That's what I'm waiting on parts for. But you'll see that in probably the next video. Me getting this car ready to drive home. It's gonna be a good one. You're gonna want to check it out. This car has been a massive struggle compared to most of my other videos, which are also huge struggles. Oh, look at it. What could that be? That is a bucket list truck for me. Huh? If you know your Mopars, you'll know what that is. This is a 1957 Dodge D100 that was in a junkyard not too far from here. I've looked at it before and I hemmed and hawed, and finally this time it was still here and I had to buy it. It was, you know, you don't come across 57 Dodge trucks very often. They're a pretty distinct truck. I believe that's the first year where they went to a one-piece hood. You know, kind of a huge year. You know, huge design change after 56. And then of course 58s look a lot different as well. 57 is probably my favorite year of Dodge truck ever, actually. Come to think of it, probably my favorite. But you can see part of what attracted me to this truck. It has got all four drums and hubs. It does have the bed is complete, well, other than the tailgate. But it's here, it's just turned around and flipped over and sitting on the frame rails. Come on. These doors did open. Okay, that one doesn't open anymore. We'll have to look in from the other side. But look at this thing. I mean, it's got, you know, the windshield at least, and the passenger window is okay. The wing windows are all right. But even the bed is not in terrible shape. And it's got the spare tire well in the front fender on the other for the driver's side, which is really cool. I think that's a neat look. Frame looks solid back here. Everything looks all right. Got a mount for a jerry can, which is cool. Got a self-tapper sticking out the back of the cab. That's nice. What have we got going? Whew, what have we got going on in here? Huh? 60s bucket seats. Funny looking shifter, a Muncie shifter. But inside the cab, I mean, this is actually a pretty rock solid cab. And when it comes to a 57 Dodge truck, you kind of just take what you can get. There's not a lot out there. I am missing a hood. If anybody, you know, near me, I guess in Missouri or whatever, has a hood for a 57, let me know. I would like to have one. Now, that's not a Poly or a Hemi. What is that? That is an early 60s Oldsmobile. What did we think it was? A 395? I think that's a 395. It's an early 60s Olds, like 60, 61 Olds V8. Pretty neat to see that in here. Custom motor mount going on there, angle iron. I would have done that, but this was done a long time ago. It's also got an automatic, which I assume, I don't know what it would have been in an Oldsmobile. I forgot what they're called. Is it a Slim Jim thing or something weird and obsolete and you can't get anything for? But it's not a Mopar drivetrain. Well, why would that appeal to me? Because the combination of that, the bucket seats, and some other little things on this truck tells me that somebody that probably looked a lot like I do, but in the early 60s, was kind of, you know, churching up their Dodge truck a little bit. You know, some kind of mild hot rod, whatever. But very, very cool. I've always wanted to find some 50s or 60s custom from back in the day. And this, of course, isn't that, but this is an example of somebody kind of trying to make a little hot rod out of their truck, you know, 70 years ago, 60 years ago, whatever. Pretty cool to me. So that is really why I nabbed this truck. Now, I've thrown a bar on the front of this motor, and unfortunately she's stuck. I don't know how stuck. Somebody did take care to put tin foil over everything, and there has been an air cleaner on it the whole time. But see, they covered up the dipstick tube with foil. I think that this was, I don't know, it was just done a long time ago and maybe never finished. I have been itching to work on this truck for the last few days instead of that Plymouth. I'm gonna take a little bit of penetrating oil, shoot each one of the plugs. Hopefully they'll come out fairly easily. Try this one first. Okay, 13/16, yes. Oh no. Come on. One, kinda. Ooh. Well, that's not good. What do you think of that? That's probably the worst looking plug I've ever seen. This motor might be junk. Okay, so on this side, we've got one terrible, decent, terrible. And actually, well, I can kind of see something in that cylinder. I don't know what it is, but that was one of the better looking plugs that come out of there. So let's check out the other side. You can see all four on this bank look okay, actually. Maybe let me grab the borescope. That might tell me something. Okay, so that is the inside of cylinder one. I don't know if you can see that, but cracked piston, full of rust. It's junk. Well, I thought there was an end to this video, at least on this trip, but I am back. It's been several days, and you know, remember the engine in this thing is just completely trashed. There is no saving it at all. So I found a solution. Look at this, a parts Chrysler. This is a 64 New Yorker, which is like one I had back in Missouri that I bought off of Dalton, that I was going to use for parts for several different vehicles, but it was just too nice to part out. So this poor thing has become the engine and transmission and anything else I need donor for this truck. And also, it already gave up its windshield for the 61 Atomic Chrysler over there, which that is, whichever, let's see. This video should come out before that one. That is the one I am getting ready to drive 1,000 miles. You're gonna wanna check that out when it comes out. Remember, that's the one I built in a junkyard. Anyway, yeah, this car donated its windshield to that one. And it's actually got decent interior, at least those two front seats. If they fit, they might go in the Dodge pickup, but let's see what this has under the hood. There. You are looking at a big block Chrysler 413. This is a 64, so that would mean, what does this make? 330 or 40 horsepower, something like that. 4-barrel factory. So yeah, this is exactly like what's in the 62 Chrysler that burned to the ground almost in January. Very good engine, makes a lot of power. I know nothing about it. It turns, but you know, we have not tried to get this one running. I don't know. Transmission low, perfect. That's gonna be the questionable part. I'm sure the engine's okay, but the transmission, you've seen me battle these push buttons, which this is another push button torque flight, which is, you know, perfect. There's some toys in the battery tray. All right, little action figures. Okay. Is there a ground? Oh, it's the red one. Okay, and the black one is the... Got it. Nothing is on fire, so that's a good sign. Let's see if the key does anything. Or does it even have a key? It doesn't have a key. But that's the starter relay down there. Let me just use a knife real quick and jump it. See if I can. Oh yeah. Cranks. Sounds alright. Sounds like it might be kind of galloping a little bit, but also that battery sounds like it's weak. I wonder how that would happen, Dalton. Let me hunt up some plug wires. How many do I need? These are pretty much all roached. Okay, I got an assortment of plug wires, some from various cars and the ground, and, you know, places you normally pick spark plug wires up from. Let's rewire this thing. Start out with number 1 over here. Boy, there's just so much going on under the hood of this car. See, that one's chewed through. And find one that is a similar length. That one might do it. Alright, there's one. It's got new plug wires, and the ignition switch is kind of stuck in the on position. So I'm kind of curious to see if there's any spark. No, I don't think we're sparking. Couldn't possibly be any issues with the wiring, right? Let me see if I can get a jumper wire and jump straight to that coil. Or the ballast resistor. Probably the coil would be the easiest. Alright. Got a piece of wire. I'm gonna try to just jump straight to the coil. Okay. We'll jump that to the battery. I'm gonna just try feeding it a little bit of fuel. See if it'll do anything at all. What do you think?
I think that's a good motor. Well,
we'll see. Yeah, it's got the cooling system might be
questionable.
Kind of like everything out here. Be cool if this battery wasn't. Loves to. Okay, I threw a little bit hotter battery in here. Hopefully it's a little hotter anyway. Another one was pretty flat. Fill the carburetor back up. Nope, that battery is dead too. But we established it kind of runs. Well, I guess that's probably good enough. Another thing to notice, it's pumping transmission fluid. So that's good. We're gonna just call that transmission good since it did that. All right, so now, you know, all the other fun things. Do I pull the motor out of this first, or do I get the truck rolling and then get the motor out of it first? Okay, well, it's the next day. I got distracted yesterday because I had to go look at a piece of property. Yes, spoiler alert, I may be moving to New Mexico. Anyway, I got tires, I got a jack. Let's get this baby up off the ground, and we can get it rolled over there to the shop. Remember, on a Bopar of this vintage, the left-hand side is left-hand threads on the lugs. You can usually tell that because a few of them will be stripped out. The center section. Would look a lot better if the bed was set on it correctly. I'm gonna have to mount the bed too. Too bad it doesn't have its tailgate. I'm surprised though somebody, I don't know if they pulled the whole bed. I'm surprised somebody didn't just take the whole bed while this was in the junkyard. She is on the ground. Now I just have to get it over there. Looks like I'm gonna be pushing it. Wish I could roll this window down. The window crank is gone on this side. Oh well, hopefully it rolls easily. Oh, come on. Since I have a volunteer, we're going to go ahead and get this bed flipped around and put on the truck like it should be, so it looks a lot better. It's more motivating when it looks like a truck. Yeah. Just go off the back.
Oh, I've got the back side. What do you want to do? Flip it and we'll just walk it over?
Yeah.
Once we get it on there. Oh yeah, that's better. Here we go. Yeah. Done.
So much better.
Look at that. That's a truck. I mean, nothing bolted on, you're done.
Yeah, that's all it needs. A couple bolts and a spare tire.
Ah, well.
You've got to put the spare tire here.
And the jerry can.
And the jerry can.
Immediately running into it. Smash.
There we go.
Too far.
Yes, PBG West now has a legitimate gantry for pulling engines. We hornswoggled Dalton into buying one today.
Is that what we're calling it?
But this should actually make it a lot easier than borrowing Sheridan's engine hoist that you cannot roll. At least with these, you know, you can roll the vehicle in and out from under it.
You know, if you just buy concrete, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We should just pave the entire place.
Yep.
But plan is, we'll get this old 394 yanked out of this truck. We probably should have pulled the front clip off, but well, we can roll it back. The front clip is pretty much loose. I think there's only a bolt there and a bolt there. I don't think the core support's bolted down. Well, maybe the core support is bolted down. I don't know, we'll figure it out. So yeah, dug through the dirt and I did in fact find the 2 core support bolts. So those have got to come out. I thought the core support wasn't connected. I mean, it's really not connected to the front clip anymore, but we'll just unbolt that anyway. I think those are captured bolts. Only one had a nut on it, the other one didn't, and I was able to get underneath with the impact and get the nut off of it, which just fell on the ground. The bolt on that side's gone, so it is literally just this inner fender bolt. That last bolt is very long and very rusty. So I got this for, I'm just gonna slice that little bracket right off. We don't need it anyway. There's about 37 other bolts for this front clip that are all missing, but I will put all of them back, I promise.
With a welder.
With a welder when it goes back on. So let me just slice this. There. Now we should be able to pull the front clip off.
No,
Yeah, that's fine. Studs on the front, down through the post
there we go.
Yeah, that's done. This is not supposed to be separate from the front clip, believe it or not.
It is now.
It is now. Yeah, I don't know what they did.
I think the transmission, from here it kind of looks like it's just floating.
Oh, perfect. Oh, no, that's a weird way to mount they mounted it up at the bell housing.
Oh.
So the entire transmission is just hanging off the race car things.
Which, by the way, is the only aluminum part of that transmission. The rest of it's cast iron. Genius.
Pretty sure a sawzall cut right there is going to be the best way to remove this. Now they left the original Dodge cross member in it and then bolted some ears to the bell housing bolts on that aluminum transmission, and then it looks like they welded a bolt to it and then stuck it down through the Dodge cross member. I'm just going to saw that off too on each side. I'm going to just completely remove this engine with the sawzall.
You know, right now, there's some guy going, oh my god, I need that carburetor.
Yep.
It's an air carburetor.
Is it?
Yeah, it kind of is.
It's for sale.
And that's the thing. It is for sale. All they got to do is come buy it.
But they won't.
Look at this setup here. Huh?
It's like actually the right way to do it.
Kind of.
I'm sure glad this chain is about a mile long. It's starting to pick up the front of the truck, so now I can saw everything holding the engine in place.
I really hope you put that trolley together right.
I mean, it's up there.
Yeah.
Almost got this one very pro transmission mount.
Couldn't have done better myself.
Nope, not at all.
There you go.
Yep, that was it.
What do you want to do about drive shaft? I guess it'll just fall out with the...
It'll probably uninstall itself.
Be cool if it did. We might want to save it.
I might have to.
Yeah, it might be handy.
The parts Chrysler over there does have a drive shaft. We might have to shorten the real way.
Yeah, the right way.
Yes.
With that stick welder.
Whatever those are, they're very soft. You saw that it's like a 1/2 inch in diameter, and you see how quickly that just cut right through it.
With a used Sawzall blade.
Not even a good one.
Nope.
All right, now the motor mount.
Cut that as close as you can.
I think it's probably there. I don't want it sticking out.
No, yeah, cut it as close to the frame as you can. Go. Got a little pressure on it.
Slightly.
What was that?
I think that was it popping off the cross member in the back.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We don't know how to use one of these, so we might not have the chains adjusted quite right. All right, so now is when it's going to spring out of here.
It's just going to leap out. Ready. Battery change. But I just want to point out that this project gets the Pole Barn Garage seal of approval. This is the only thing Jesse's ever owned that I find remotely interesting. So you better watch this whole video. Nice.
Okay.
Well, she's ready to come out.
Could be a piece of cake.
Yeah. You're lifting the motor real good, but
a little hung up in the rear, I think.
give the truck a kick back.
Maybe.
The whole gantry topples over, and then we die.
Maybe hung up on back here. We're not really picking up the transmission, believe it or not.
Is it still attached to something?
And these are the bolts that I cut. Well, there's something shoved through the cross member. Maybe I should put a jack under the the tail shaft and jack it up.
Maybe. It's got a shifter.
Oh yeah. Looks like there's an oil filter or something sticking off the side of this pan.
Oh, what the hell?
You're right. It's been smashed, and then there's another oil filter up here. What is going on?
I don't know. That could be old Oldsmobile stuff. I'm not very familiar with these.
Yeah, what would have had an oil filter in the pan?
I don't know. Unless it's some kind of just a sump or something. I don't know.
Well, you could never change the oil, I guess.
Not on this truck.
You can't get that filter out. What in the world is going on?
Look at look at the freeze plugs. They're all rubber expansion plugs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, this one over here.
Oh, the one that you can't get to.
The one you can't get to.
But these are.
So this is just an example of how not to build a truck, you know?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much how we would do it.
I have a little higher standards than that.
No, you just installed freeze plugs like that. You cut the shifter off.
Yeah. So okay, the way they put the shifter in, it would be you'd push it down or pull it up to shift.
That sounds familiar.
Yep.
This thing's cool. I'm keeping it. You know, pulling this drive shaft would have been a lot easier if we wouldn't have put the bed on.
Yep. Glad we put the bed on, huh?
Yeah. Makes it much easier.
About an hour. U-joint's kind of stuck in that yoke, huh?
Yeah, it might have been there for a little while. I feel very safe on this wood.
Yes, there's plenty of wood to stand on. You don't lose those U-joint cabs now.
No. they are retained. That's a factory U-joint. They have a wire bail that holds them together.
Yeah.
Pretty handy. Wish they would have always done that.
Okay, I think now the engine is ready to come out. Maybe? Lift the whole truck. Oh, there it comes.
There it goes.
Kinda. Oh, hold on, hold on.
I was almost paying attention. Because of the desert, I'm dehydrated.
Yeah, you better
Let's
get
get some fluids.
insanely drunk.
No, I don't want to get kicked out.
You know what?
I don't want to get kicked out.
Kicked out.
You get insanely drunk, they kick you out.
Is that what they do here?
I don't know.
It's coming out. Keep going.
I know. There we go. Hold on. There's a jack in the way. Is that jack necessary?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Ready, push.
All right, we need more up.
Oh, shit.
Slip.
Basically, if you can get off that jack. There you go. Hickory.
Oh wait, speedometer cable was hooked up.
Whoa!
Wow! Oh my goodness.
They did one thing.
I gotta set my beer down for this. Hold on.
Oh God, please. Watch your hand.
No, I'm fine.
Get your hand out of the way.
It's fine.
'Cause it's gonna.
It's not gonna hurt. Keep going.
Now down a hoist.
Keep going. And we're done.
All right.
Bye, truck.
I'm used to an engine hoist, or it would have just fell over right
Yes.
No, actually, the gantry's pretty great.
there. Yeah, that was
I gotta say, that's probably the best purchase lately.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now let's
I'm glad we could persuade
get this out of
you.
the way and
Right. We need something to put that on and then move.
bring
Your
the other
Chrysler.
car up.
Oh wait,
Chrysler's
everything you own is dead.
true. The Plymouth is. I don't own that anymore. Now we need to get the parts car over there. Come back, boy. There you go.
Oh,
There
no.
you go.
Oh, hey, the brakes work.
Hey, that's that line it up. Perfect.
Just ram it.
I don't want to scratch my dump truck. Yeah. Okay, the 64 Chrysler has been gently moved over to in front of the gantry. And now it is going to be a matter of just removing everything. The throttle, the all the AC lines, power steering lines, heater core lines. And then I think we're just going to steal this entire front cross member which holds the motor mounts. Just going to saw it off like right there and leave the motor bolted to it. And the goal will be to then hover it inside the engine bay on the Dodge truck and cut it to length and weld it inside those frame rails.
Well, a starving child could eat that New Yorker.
Yeah, the New Yorker's kind of junk. I mean, even the hood now. Like, look at that.
Look what happened.
Look at what happened to the hood. It
The wind
folded,
caught it.
the wind caught it and it folded all the way back somehow.
That was the wind.
Is the damnedest thing.
There you go.
Heater core lines disconnected. AC. AC wasn't charged.
It was not.
Piece of shit.
Nope. There was no juice in AC.
Steering.
We don't need that where we're going.
You know, I could have actually used those power steering lines.
No.
Did we get a new light?
Whoa.
Wait.
Whoa.
Wait, this thing sucks.
There you go. Stroke it.
It doesn't,
You need to make it stiffer. So it doesn't
yeah,
fall
it came
over.
with a little Allen, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. Damn it, I have to do something.
Stroking it did not make it harder.
Oh.
It did nothing.
Oh, does it? Oh, wow. That's good.
Hey.
We've got.
I mean, it's basically daytime now.
We've got a studio now. You know, it's like we have a film crew.
Now get all the people that actually do the work here.
Hey. It's already cut.
But it's cut over here. Oh, never mind.
Don't waste the blade. We only
Yeah.
have so many.
Oh yeah, we should probably put a new blade on that one.
No, it's
fine. It's still got lots of love.
You need to save the good blades for that cross member.
Okay.
Okay, so everything's cut now, so we just gotta...
Exhaust. Cross member, drive shaft.
cross member.
We'll make me get my gun out.
Okay, so back under the car. You can see I already knocked the exhaust off. Next, I'm going to work on the torsion bars and the transmission mount over there. Should just be a single bolt in this one, and I want to relieve the tension on the torsion bars before I unbolt them up the front. I'm hoping I can relieve the tension off of them on the back cross member and then pull the bolts off the front, or the nuts off the front, and then they might pull out or beat out. I've never pulled torsion bars on one of these, so we'll just have to see how that all goes. Alright, transmission mount. That bolt right there, got that. I don't remember, hell, I might have to unbolt this center of this cross member. It drops out. Same kind of cross member that's in the 61 that I did in the junkyard. Don't remember, it's been too long. Okay, well, my impact is not going to take those big nuts loose, but I need to cut the torsion bar right there between the lower control arm and see where it goes through the front cross member. If I can slice it right between the two, that should separate it from the control arm. Okay, well, cutting through the torsion bar didn't work, but the impact was getting it loose. So, let me just carefully do that, because there's probably tension under that, and I don't want it to spring down and, you know, get me somehow. There's still a lot of tension on that, and that bolt is backed off a long ways. Alright, cool. Now just do the same to the other side. You remember how that side, you know, came apart easily? This side not so much. So I've resulted to cutting it. Let's see what happens together, shall we? Cool. Well, that was uneventful. I guess now I can see if I can unbolt it up at the front. So that's the great big bolt I need to get to. However, the sway bar is in the way. So, to give the sway bar more room to get out of the way, let's just remove those. Then simply put a jack under the sway bar. Yep. Nice. Came right off. By the way, sorry about the camera being, you know, it's incredibly dusty. Every time I do anything, I kick up dust down here. So let me get the other side and let's see if we can hammer those out. You also love it when one side is something's easy and the other side's a complete bitch. I know I do. Break loose, mother. Oh yeah. You will come off there. The next morning, got distracted last night. Had some pretty important things come up, but I'm now back on the car today. A few more things to do underneath. I'm going to have to unbolt the drive shaft. This has got the bolt-on style flange. So 4 bolts, and then the drive shaft can come loose. Then the center of the transmission cross member needs to come out. I think that's 6 bolts, 3/4. Shift cable, and then maybe a few little things up top, and then it'll be a matter of sawing the cross member out of this guy. So let's get under it. I guess this became necessary. I bought this little pop-up stupid thing for $50 on sale, and I know why. It's a piece of shit. But the thing about New Mexico is it might be hot, but as soon as you get in the shade, you're fine. So, and that should help maybe with the camera quality, just getting some of the light out. I know some of you guys complained about the video quality out here, but this seems like this should be a little better under here. So anyway, now I'm ready to crawl underneath the car. There we go. Come on. Okay, drive shaft's out. Okay, the next thing is the push button cable, which is right there. As you can see, there's a retaining ring and then a 7/16 bolt. Pull that bolt out and then slide the retaining ring forward, and then the tool to use, and then the tool to pop that out of the transmission case is a flathead screwdriver. You'll slide it in the top and kind of apply some downward pressure while pulling on the cable, and then it should pop right out. So I got the transmission in neutral, screwdriver stuck in the top, push down a little bit, and the shift cable pulls right out. Also, the speedometer cable is disconnected too. That was just a 1/2-inch bolt. Easy. The last things I need to do is get this throttle and kickdown assembly removed, which is convenient on these cars. Actually, I like them because the throttle is right here, and then it goes down here to another bracket and a linkage that runs to the kickdown. I like this setup a hell of a lot better than a throttle cable and then a kickdown cable separately. This is, or a separate kickdown arm. This is far better, in my opinion. Pretty easy to understand, adjust, and take apart. I mean, it's all adjustable. It's actually, I don't know why. I think there might have been some kind of regulation as to why all vehicles had to go to a cable instead of, you know, a hard linkage. Something to do with automotive regulations. I don't know. Either way, this setup is better. But let's get it disconnected. Looks like somebody put a hose clamp on this end, so it was worn out or something. One of the bushings might have been gone. But I'll get that hose clamp loose. Then it looks like there's baling wire holding this end together. I need to get that off, but also I can disconnect this assembly from the pedal, which is just a little ball. Just pull this rod and it'll pop right off. With throttle disconnected, the kickdown disconnected, which is just a bolt down there on the linkage, and then the baling wire removed from there and the hose clamp removed from there, this whole assembly should just slide over and out. Yep. See? Got it. Cool. Far better throttle and kickdown setup than any of the later cars. Alright, hang on to that, because I'll probably need it for the truck. So now, I think literally all I've got is maybe some wiring to trim off that I don't need, and then the cross member, which is going to be a matter of sawing it. I cannot wait. Okay, I ran into another problem. So in order to remove this cross member, you have to remove these great big control arm bolts, which you can maybe see my finger pointing at right there. Now those have to slide through the lower control arms in order to slide out of the cross member. Well, they're frozen to the bushings inside the lower control arms. And if I just saw that cross member out with it bolted to the engine, I'm not going to be able to have enough maneuverability with that to slide off the bolts and off of, which are in the lower control arms. So the new approach is going to be just unbolt the motor mounts. They're a single stud, which is conveniently covered by a little heat shield, which is a giant pain in the to get out. So there's just no room for your hands, basically. But I think it's a few 7/16 bolts. Get those out of the way, get the two motor mount studs unbolted, and then I should be able to yank this motor and transmission up and out of here. Well, maybe I'm mistaken. I can actually see the bolt right there on this passenger side. Let me see if I can get a ratchet or something down there to get that out of there. I don't remember, I couldn't see it on that side. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is not covered by that heat shield. See if I can get that out though. It wasn't so bad. I was actually able to get this one broke loose with just a wrench. So cool. I just double checked and I can't even see the stud on the other side, so that's gonna be the good one. Got one. That was one of those bolts that, you know, doesn't come loose. Doesn't get any looser till about the last thread. I called it all kinds of things that were not very nice. Finally got it out. That sucked. And that was the easy one. Let's see what it's gonna take to do the other side. So, you can see I came up with a alternative solution. That is the lower control arm bolt and part of the lower control arm. I decided to, why not just saw it off of there? And then I was able to get the bolt out from through the front cross member. I'm gonna do that on the other side, and then I'm actually going to put this nut back on this motor mount and then proceed with what I was going to originally do, which is just saw the cross member right out of the car. Seems like the greatest method, in my opinion. So let's do that, because to get that other bolt off, there's a shroud around the stud, and I don't see how you can get to it without pulling the manifold and possibly the starter. I really don't want to do that. So I'm gonna do it, you know, the really butch way. And we're just gonna start sawing the car apart, because it's already junk anyway. Then it just comes right out. Kinda, maybe. Come on, bitch. There we go. Okay, I got the car set back down on the blocks. It had safety blocks under it the whole time. Don't worry, for those of you that have probably been freaking out. I also threw a jack under the front cross member. I didn't put any pressure on it, but it's just to keep this whole thing from coming down. I'm gonna see if I can't saw through that cross member. I can already see that's gonna be in the way, that's gonna be in the way, everything's gonna be in the way, but maybe I can wheedle this blade in here and saw that. Damn. One side. Oh, let me let the Sawzall cool down a little bit, and then I'll get the other side. The other side should be easier to cut. Easier to get to, anyway. I got the other side pretty much sawed all the way through. This, believe it or not, actually was the harder side. But I got a jack under the cross member, jacking it up, seeing if I can get it to pop out of there. There's not much holding it. Yep. I also, off camera, went ahead and pulled the drive shaft completely out. Easy stuff there, no big deal. And the transmission cross member is now out of it. So the engine is completely loose. It is ready to lift out of there. Hopefully. I need to get the car set back on the ground, center up the gantry, bolt it to the engine, and then we're going to use the dump truck to help drag the car out from under the engine. Oh, good. The jack's stuck. It's so low now. I got the hoist lined up, chained up to the motor. We're just gonna, use the old pull and pray method. See what happens. I hope this just kind of lifts out somewhat easily. Please. I have spent way too much time on this junk car. And yes, it is junk. She's kind of coming up. Not just be caught on the front. Cross member got hung up down here. No, actually the cross member didn't get hung up, but it tore that block style motor mount apart. That's perfect. I'm gonna need to find another one of those. That motor mount kind of sort of came apart. Damn it. Oh. Okay. Yep. That was easy. So see what I mean, how this rubber block pulled out of this mount. We're gonna fix it the right way. Window well. Dalton says this is what he uses to custom fabricate his motor mounts.
Yeah.
So it should work to glue this back together. I might also shoot some self-tappers through that metal part into this rubber to kind of hold it up into place. Conveniently, this stuff is so thick it'll destroy caulking guns. So we don't have one that will squeeze this out of the tube, so I just have to poke holes in the tube to get some out. But once this is done, very, very soon we will be rolling the truck over and fitting this engine inside the truck. I need that hammer. Perfect, fixed. Tighten up this stud. You know, the one you can't really get to with the engine in the car. You know, that's essentially impossible. You can get to it now. One of the immediate things I noticed, and I've had to do this on swaps like this before, the old transmission crossmember in these trucks is super close because the early transmission is actually bolted through the bell housing. Not like this was done before. With the Oldsmobile transmission, that was not correct at all, but somebody tried to use that mount on that big long aluminum transmission. Not cool. I'm talking about on the, this truck was a manual, so the transmission was about this long, great big bell housing, and a lot of times they bolt through that on these. You can see that's a mounting pad and that's a mounting pad. Now that crossmember has got to be removed in order to clear any kind of aftermarket transmission. So I'm gonna have to put a transmission crossmember in it, but I need to saw that out. It's okay because there's a crossmember up here stabilizing the frame, and I'm going to be adding another 2 more crossmembers. It'll be just fine. Well, conveniently, the camera died while I was cutting through that, but it's out. I'm gonna slide the truck on forward. Let's just see. Maybe it'll land right where it needs to go. I can already tell you that crossmember is quite a bit wider, I think, than these frame rails. So that might make things a little bit interesting. Need to move the engine this way a little bit. Maybe I can, well, we'll just see. Need to get the truck farther forward. It is on a good hill, so it's kind of fighting me to push it. Oh yeah. Shit. That's pretty close, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remove the exhaust on both sides. Beautiful. I'll bring the tail of the motor up. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you guys might have saw this coming. There's no way that I can use that crossmember. It's just all around too wide for this frame. I can't cut it down enough to get it to tuck down, you know, kind of in between the frame rails. I don't think, unless I were to slice it, measure inside the frame rails, you know, obviously measure that and see where I need to slice it, and maybe I can slice this outside of this mount where this goes from this section, cut it on each side where I need to cut it, and then get these to rest on the tops of the frame rails in the truck, and then get this close enough to where I can weld it inside the frame rails. I actually was about to say I'm just going to cut these off and gusset it and weld it, but I just thought of that. maybe I'll give that a try. Let's find a tape measure. So, things have changed. The plan has changed again. There's no way for me to cut down and use this cross member like I thought I could. It's just too big, too wide. So I sawed the mounts off of it. And I think I can set the motor down now and at least weld this top, or this outer bracket of these mounts to the top of the frame rails, and then maybe gusset the lower or the inner bracket to the frame rail somehow. That should work just fine. I wish that was going to work. I made a lot of effort to save that, but clearly that was all in vain. But it's the way it goes.
That is the easiest way to remove the engine, right there.
It was, because there was no way to get to that bolt. I was going to have to pull the starter or the manifold or both.
Yep.
Now we have some light. See where this thing's going to come around. So, they're going to sit right on the frame.
This side is.
Oh yeah. This other side is already... might have to kind of bend that out. The exhaust is going to be right on the frame rail.
Oh, yeah, this side too. Well, you just get rid of the frame. No problem.
Notch the frame out for the exhaust.
Or zoomies.
Yes. Damn it. The manifold's hitting the... Oh, well, wait a minute. If you can slide it back, maybe pick the motor up, roll the truck forward to get these kind of up there.
Yeah, and the frame widens back there too. You might just squeeze the manifold through it. They should have.
I think. Okay, that valve cover is hitting
Firewall. I mean, you know, if you had some headers.
like block huggers or something.
No. Custom made. Or zoomies. That's pretty good right there. It's too far forward, but gives you an idea.
Yeah, that might.
It can go back 4 inches.
Yeah. We're having to cut out a little bit of the floor pan. Believe it or not, the 727 rubs some, you know, where there was a manual transmission before. I was trying to kind of save some of these this tunnel cover, but I mean, somebody has already just destroyed it. So I guess it's not a huge loss.
Nah, hell. Be under the carpet or the rubber mat.
Yep.
You just gotta take it all the way up to there.
Like to here. Yeah, it's like right in there, maybe.
Is it the bend up here?
No, I was seeing it. There's a seam right in here, like a pinch weld. That's what it's kind of hitting, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you can always cut more, so maybe start there.
Yeah. grinder.
Piece of shit. Hey, do you want me to tell you when you were cutting through the bell housing, or
What?
what? Oh no, it's fine.
Did I cut the bell housing?
Not yet. You cut something. Oh, it's just the speedometer kit. It's fine.
You said I got the bell housing. I didn't cut the bell housing.
No,
Precision. Right there. You're looking at it.
It's perfect.
Really cool if this would move.
Hey.
This mount would kind of just, you know.
Oh yeah. Major improvement.
That did help a lot. Look, it's almost centered too.
Yeah, and both valve covers are resting on the firewall. Which is exactly what you want.
That is what you want, isn't it?
And you won't be able to change the oil. You don't need to. It's got an unlimited lifetime oil change.
You just top it off. Oh yeah. There we go, dude.
Yeah, you're plenty far back now.
Got the exhaust kind of off the shock mount.
This exhaust is doable over here.
Is it?
Yep.
This one's not.
Oh.
But I don't
Can't have everything.
Yeah, you kind of got to just take the wins that you get.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hello. Uh-oh.
Just a minor grease fire.
Yeah, no big deal. I'll throw water on the next one.
Yeah. Well, now we just set it down.
Yeah. No problem.
Oh. Son of a bitch didn't move that time, did it?
No, it didn't. Now it's crooked as shit. Perfect.
Yeah, not really, actually.
We can fix that by jumping on it. Oh, it's that fucking, it's a shock. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, we might want to put a fucking jack under that, huh?
I don't know, kind of worked out in your favor. I think you jack that up, she's gonna be good.
Little farmer filler. I could always do things to like farm spec, you know? It's in.
Good enough for now.
Good enough for tonight. I will see you in the morning where I'll be making all kinds of weird gussets and stuff, probably out of bolts, to hold this all together. It's actually been 2 days since I was last working on this truck. It was the night before last. Yesterday had a bunch going on. But anyway, I got back on the truck today. I actually finished burning in the motor mounts. While they are not pretty, the motor is in the truck, which means they are functioning. They should be every bit as strong as I need to be. The next thing I need to figure out is a transmission cross member, and because of the style of mount that these use, which is essentially a couple rubber pads, or a rubber pad, a spring, and a special bolt, which you'll see, the same exact setup that was on that car, which I had to fab up a mount for that. I don't know if you remember, if you've watched that video. I'm gonna do the exact same thing, pretty much. well, I guess now pretty different. This is the old mount. I cannot use this part of it. I'm gonna lop this off, which is the end that, you know, has the rubber pad, holds the spring. That's a spring cup. Then the bolt goes through. I'll be lopping that off. And then I think there's some C-channel over there that I can cut to the right length to fit between the frame rails, and then just drill a few holes and bolt it to the bottom of the frame. Should be fairly straightforward, no big deal there. Crawled under there with a tape measure, measured between the two frame rails. It's right at about 3 feet.
That looks great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like the mounts?
Oh, it's great. I'm glad you didn't like put a jack under the transmission or anything to level it first, you know?
Well, there actually was.
Oh.
It needs to come up more.
Yeah.
But,
it's not going anywhere now.
Nope. Found this C-channel on the ground. I marked it at about 35, 36 inches. Gonna lop that off. And then I'm gonna lop the end off the old cross member, weld that onto that, wherever it needs to be. Then I can bolt that to the bottom of the frame rails, and then I have a transmission cross member. Got that cut. Now it's time to cut this off the old cross member. We're just gonna kind of guesstimate, oh, maybe somewhere like right in there. Alright, I got under there, did some measuring and everything. The center of this bolt hole on this bracket needed to be about 18.5 inches from the inside of the frame rail or the edge of this cross member. Got it just kind of setting right about where it needs to be. Let me fire up the welder and let's attach this thing. Get under here and jack up the transmission and kind of test fit this wonderful new cross member. Going right up. See, and you were all worried about the pinion angle and the engine being angled downwards and blah blah blah. See, told you, it's fine. Believe it or not, this stuff is you know, it's not rocket science. If my dumb ass can do it in the desert, on the ground with minimal tools, you can do it too. I promise. You guys had seen me build that 53 GMC, you shit. And this is actually a little bit better than that. And that truck's been all over the country. Ran into a slight snag. Dalton and I both got under there to lift the cross member up. And the old mount delaminated. So let me show you how this works. So this rubber was, or not vulcanized, I guess, this vulcanized rubber. They heat it up and then shove it up against a metal plate, and then they fuse together, you know, and that's been 60 some years ago, and that separated. So that left me with this under the truck. See where that rubber was vulcanized to that plate with the two bolts, and a standard Chrysler mount I don't think will fit that. So let me unbolt that plate. I might end up welding that plate, or well, using that as a template or something for bolt holes. We'll see. Let's see what we can do. What I did was pretty basic and straightforward. All I did was lop off the old mount that I made, and then I borrowed some rubber from one of Buff's tires, old bias ply. Now the reason when you make mounts out of tire rubber, the reason you want to use bias ply is because they're not steel belted and they're much easier to work with. But yeah, I can even use the old bolts that were still there. They'll stick through this long enough. This should work just fine. We'll get under there, I'll bolt it to the transmission, and then I'll get it up against the frame, and then I can drill holes, which drilling holes while laying underneath whatever you're drilling a hole in is awesome. Okay, once again, next day. Had to postpone the transmission crossmember install. I was able to get 4 pilot holes drilled through the new crossmember and the frame. However, the Harbor Freight drill bits we have here, I don't know what the hell that crossmember is made out of. It must be hard. You know, they just got hot and smoked. I tried drilling them slowly and oiling it, you know, whatever, the right way. They just didn't survive. So this morning, I went and got some Magic Special Industrial Cobalt, whatever, fancy 3/8 drill bits. Let's see if those work. Oh, the jack let down. That's why the engine was tilted really poorly. Hopefully those holes will kind of line back up. Sorta. Alright, here goes nothing. Oh yeah. Yep, that's doing the trick. Yep, there's one. Boy, that made quick work of that. These chips are hot. There we go. Like butter. Alright, let me do the other side. There you have it. The engine and transmission are officially installed in the truck. Now, I grabbed the old car drive shaft, which of course I've got to reuse because they have the old style U-joint on the front for the flange, and naturally I just threw it under here to see how close it'd be, and it is way too long. Not a problem I usually run into. I got a tape measure. Let's measure this and see how much I'm gonna need to shorten this by. I've got a really wonderful technique I'm going to use to shorten it. You guys are going to love it. So face to face, this thing's about 51.5 inches, and we'll see how long this guy is fully compressed. This yoke fully compressed, we're at 59.5. What, 8-inch difference there? Need to shorten this thing by, damn, 8.5 inches. That's a lot. That is a lot. Got it flipped around. I'm gonna saw it right about there initially. There's actually a little dent in the tube right there, so we'll eliminate that section. But starting out with a fresh sawzall blade, we'll see what we can do. Try to cut as straight as you can, but you'll see why that's not a huge deal. Okay. Don't want to lose the U-joint cap or get dirt in there. Gonna measure 8.5 inches from here. Slice that off. Just like that. I'm gonna clean this end up here and there with the flap disc. Now, I kind of also paid attention to the U-joint orientation on this. So, it needs to be like this. And the reason I did this is to make a nice little sleeve that will also help keep these ends straight when you go to weld them together. And done. There we go. I should probably just open my own drive shaft shop at this point. Like it's going to. The drive shaft is in. That's all good. I'm going to start unbolting all these front accessories that I don't need, like this extra pulley, the power steering pump, AC pump, all this stuff is just in the way. Might as well get rid of it. I'm gonna have to figure out, I might have to get a different pulley or something, because all I need to run is the water pump and the alternator. This is a fan and pulley I had laying around for a big block Chrysler. Probably gonna have to find a different one though. This doesn't seem to line up with any of the pulleys on the crank. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Out of there. Just went wild on their accessories. Need a wrench for that. Now will you come off that? There. We'll be needing that. There we go. Already looking a lot cleaner over here. Wow, it looks different, huh? I just had some help over here. We set the front clip on. Still haven't bolted it on, or the bed. I think I'm gonna bolt those on next. I need to figure out the core support. It's gonna be difficult. I threw on a cleaner shirt so I could run to town. These are my new black shirts that we just came out with. For those of you that don't like white shirts, this is my first time ever actually wearing one. I look weird not in a white shirt. If you want one, they're on my store. But anyway, I'm gonna go grab some bolts and come back, try try to get this front clip bolted on and the bed. It'd be pretty huge to get the truck actually bolted back together today. Bolts. See what we can do. Fine thread 3/8 bolts are actually fairly difficult to find. I think these guys are going to do the trick though. I bought several different lengths, and some big fender washers. I'm going to need those. Okay, so naturally the 4 front clip bolts that bolts through the door into the fenders, they're 7/16. They're not 3/8, so you know, the way it goes. I did get the core support bolted in, just 2 bolts, 1 on each side. Those are 3/8 fine, and then the bolt down there. So the core support is actually, you know, part of the front clip again, and part of the rest of the truck. And the bed is now bolted on. That's good. But I have to run back to town to get a bunch of other things, like I need to figure out a radiator. I might have to just end up putting an electric fan on this, so I'm gonna probably go grab an electric fan. I need to find a thermostat housing. I might be able to get one of those, but I'd like to try to get this thing running today again, is what I'm shooting for. I found some bolts that'll work on the front clip. Let's just get these installed. Next thing I'm going to try to knock out is the fuel system, and there's this little section of hard line that was up here below the pump. It is just clogged full of shit and rusted out, so I'm going to run rubber. I'm going to get back there and pull that sending unit out of the tank, or at least the pickup tube, not the sending unit, and see if I can clean that out, and then run a rubber line up to the pump and then onto the carb. This was not easy to get broken loose. However, I think I just did. Yep, there it comes. Just like that. Got it shortened, and then I'm running the line up to the front. We'll see you at the fuel pump. Target acquired. Just like that. Surprise! Let's get this off of here. Not gonna be needing this. There we go. Oh, the gasket's not even destroyed. Had this laying around. That will simplify things quite a bit. Oh yeah, you gotta bend this little... There we go. Very nice. Got carbs on, and I want to start building this fuel line. Right now is a good time to try to get some lube on that diaphragm and the fuel pump. Just try to give it every fighting chance. The parts cars sacrificed some more. So, you know, I should have filmed all this, but it's something that I really hate. Not the filming part, but I was doing something that I really hate. And that is dealing with push-button transmissions. You know, there's not really any option to convert this to anything but a push-button. So I had to rob the push-button assembly out of the parts car. Talk about a nightmare. I just kind of got in there, got it out, just had to fight it. I didn't really, not in a mood to be holding the camera. Pretty much had to saw the entire dash apart on that side of that damn car, get that thing out. And then, unfortunately, I did have to put a hole in the dash in this truck to mount the push-button assembly. I can clean it up and make it look a little bit nicer at a later date, but this is what it looks like. Huh? How about that? Push button in a Dodge truck. Pretty cool. I don't think they never put those in these trucks, the push button torque flights. I don't believe. I think they would have been, it would have been on the column. I don't know. For that matter, actually, never really thought about it. Never seen one of these with an automatic, so I don't know. But yeah, let me get under there and shove that cable back in there. The reason I jumped in and did this first is because if I get on the wiring, which is what's next, the fuel system's done. Naturally, I'm gonna want to start it, and it's kind of good to know that you've got a neutral, you know, when you go to start something. So now, finally, onto the wiring. Two things I acquired today at the parts store. A Ford style solenoid, which is what was already on this truck. So it's not technically a Ford style, but it's what all the, you know, 60s, 70s Fords ran. And then of course the Chrysler ballast resistor. Any coil that is not internally resisted needs one of these. I know for a fact this one isn't. You can actually, but you can also buy ones that are, but I'm just gonna use this one, so, or use the coil that's on it, so I picked up one of these. They're cheap. I'm thinking the resistor, we'll put that guy back in there somewhere. What do you think of that? Think that'll work. Put it right here. A little bit easier to reach. Guess I drop it 4 more times. Don't over tighten those, they'll shatter. Perfect. I've got a really long used battery cable that will run all the way under the floor to the battery tray. I'm going to put it on one side of the solenoid. I'm just going to leave that loose because that's where I'm going to grab the power for the ignition switch. Come on, start. There we go. And then the other side, I'm going to have to put an end on it, which you can't even see. We'll go to this is the fat cable that goes to the starter. So I will run an exciter wire in the cab for the switch, or an exciter wire, power wire off of this into the cab onto the switch, and then crank wire will come back and hit this stud here, and then the key on power will of course go to the ballast resistor. Pretty simple stuff. Now I'm going to move over here to the coil, which just means I'm reusing the wire I made to start it before. I just put a ring terminal on it this time. But just throw that on the coil. Disconnect the old coil wire. Oh, wrong side. Whoops. And I'm going to route the other end of the wire over to one of the terminals on the ballast resistor. Just like that. Alright, you can see that is the side that's got the battery cable. I ran a wire into the cab, and there I'm going to pick it up on the switch. That'll be the main ignition, or the main hot wire for the truck. So let's get in there and get a switch mounted. There's an old switch right... Really? Don't do that. There's an old switch mounted right here in the middle of the dash. It's like just another one of those universal switches, which is exactly what I bought. If I can get it out, I'll just put the new one right back there. Oh, good. There you go. Okay, I got the switch mounted. My other light died. I just went ahead and did it. Got the other switch mounted, and then I ran the other wire off the ignition terminal back through the firewall, and then ran it to the ballast resistor. Also threw the ground cable on. That means next thing to do is going to be to throw a battery in this. Just see what happens. Okay, I got a battery thrown in it. Let's just see if anything happens.
No. Okay. Weird. Jump to solenoid. The only thing, I guess, that battery must just be totally dead.
Maybe.
Something should be happening when I do that. Okay,
One would think.
let's try a different battery. It's the next morning. Last night I tried to kind of mess with it a little bit, but it was late. I was exhausted. Firing order was off, and there was a bunch of vacuum leaks. Let's see if it'll do anything now. I plugged some vacuum lines, rechecked firing order. Let's see what we got now. Have accelerator pump.
You recording? Yeah, you are.
There's the bill. Let me try to jump this under here. Battery's just too low. Let me get a charged battery and let's see what happens.
New battery.
New battery. Pump even started working.
It's coming back to life, man.
All right. It even kind of almost wanted to idle a little bit there. Did you see that?
Yep.
That's
Yeah, change the timing or fuel or something. It'll idle.
Yeah, I probably the plug wires are terrible.
No.
But it runs in the truck now, and I saw the transmission was pumping fluid up here, so that's good. Now it's just, I need to figure out a gas pedal, maybe a kick down, and a cooling system. And then we can drive it. Well, figured it might not be a bad idea to drop the oil in this thing. It's pretty black, so we'll change that.
But then Dalton's like, well, maybe it's just carbon buildup.
Yeah. drain is going to land right on the cross member. What size is that drain block? Wow, first try? That's unheard of. And it's not even that tight. It's like this pan has been bottomed out several times on something. Just gonna ignore that. Yep, not even close to the pan. Come on. There we go. Kinda. New filter, and of course, you know, on a big block Mopar, they're right here, which is easy to get to, and this one's already loose. Perfect. I like it when oil changes are easy. There's building pressure because there's plenty of oil in the filter, so we know we have oil pressure. Just slap a new one on. I know some of you have been getting after me about running that diesel oil and everything, so today we're going to run something different. We got some Riverside Montgomery Ward all season, so you know that's good for winter and summer, desert. Put this in there. Should take about 6 quarts. A little bit more. Just got back from the junkyard. Here's the predicament. So I need some kind of pulley that'll fit the water pump. I'll also line up with one of the pulleys on the crank, and then I was hoping to be able to also line up with the alternator. So I have now got 4 different big block Chrysler water pump pulleys. This one I thought for sure was going to be our guy because it would sit on the water pump right about there, which would grab one of those back grooves, and it would grab the alternator. Nope, too big in diameter. And we got this one, which is the one I've been playing with originally, was going to try to use. Lines up with nothing. We got this one. Also lines up with nothing. I don't think. Yep. Lines up with nothing. Okay, there's 3. And there's this one. Now this one lines up with the very front groove on that pulley, nowhere near the alternator. So that's a start. However, I'm going to have to completely change the way that this alternator is on here. I'm going to have to do something similar to what I did to that car. On this car, the alternator is clocked like 180 degrees different, hung about 180 degrees differently. You see there's not that big 3-bolt bracket that bolts to that head. All this is 2 bolts that I cut and welded together, and that got it out here and lined me up with the front groove. on those pulleys. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm also gonna need one of those brackets that bolts to that hole there in the water pump housing. So I'm gonna need some all thread, and whatever thread that is, and some nuts, and then I can make a different bracket and do the same thing over here. Yeah, I got a section of 3/8 all thread and some washers and some nuts. Let's try to build a different style alternator bracket so I can finally get this cooling system and everything wrapped up. It's been a day since I was last on this. We got distracted last night, had to go do some work out at the land, so let's pull this off of here. Shortened that all thread a little bit, lopped a piece off. See, that thread's right into the head. Hopefully that will be long enough. Now I do have this GM one-wire alternator that was in the trunk of the Fury. That should actually solve a lot of problems. Way simpler to wire up. I don't need a voltage regulator or anything. Let me see if I can get this on there. There you have it, folks. That took a little while, but you can see I got the alternator set and that is adjustable correctly. And the hard part was creating that lower bracket. Now what that is a cut off and heavily modified and even extended Ford LTD alternator bracket that I adapted to fit on here. And that gives me plenty of adjustment. Should be just fine. Now I need a transmission cooler, and then I can put the radiator in, and then I'll have, you know, charging system and cooling system. Getting very, very close. Okay, back from the parts store. I did throw a new thermostat and the new thermostat housing on it, which is no big deal. 2 bolts. I think you get the point of how a thermostat goes together. But I also grabbed a transmission oil cooler. Just a universal Hayden one. This guy right here. I'm going to just mount it up here in the front somewhere. Maybe I'll tuck it up in like that. Somewhere in front of the radiator. Should work just fine. How much line they gave us. They gave us enough. Oh yeah, I think they did. We just cut this approximately in half. Oil cooler is in, all plumbed up. Next, the radiator, which of course is way too wide now. I'm gonna have to cut about an inch and a half off each side of these brackets. Then it'll slide down in there. Still not even close. Will you go in now? There we go. Perfect shit. Huh. Yep. I know you guys have seen me do some pretty sketchy radiator installs, but
This one takes the cake. It won't hit the fan, which is the main thing. It's being held by the upper hose on the top. And then on the bottom, some aluminum wire to keep the bottom from swinging down and hitting the fan. Here's the thing, guys. This radiator's junk. This is the junk radiator from that car, which originally came from the 62 Chrysler, and I just needed something temporary. As soon as I come back for this truck, it'll get a different radiator in it anyway. Just trying to get it all together to see if, I don't even know if this transmission works. I really want to be able to test this thing and try to drive it. Plus, I am now kind of in a time crunch, which seems like I always am in these videos where I'm out here. Well, I've got like 4 days to get my blue collar drags car ready to drive 1,000 miles home. That car really should be taking precedent right now. This truck has just been, as projects go, a lot more difficult and had a lot more snags than I anticipated, and it's taking much longer. Anyway, now on to the last thing, which is the gas pedal that I got from the junkyard from a Mercury. I'm gonna see if we can't adapt that to somehow fit this. Okay, so this is the ball socket on the carburetor I need to grab. Of course, you'll notice it is at the top, which I had to move it from the bottom because old Chryslers, they're push, not pull. Anyway, cable looks like it needs to go through the firewall right about there. Had to enlarge that hole a little bit. Now, an immediate problem is that cable is way too long. So, that's cool. Maybe I can kind of do something like this. I don't know. No. Things escalated pretty quickly here. I had to cut about 9 inches out of that cable and then make my own cable clamp, which was drilling a hole through a bolt and then clamping down on it. I should now be able to start it from inside the cab. Alright.
What's self-clearancing?
Something self-clearancing?
It sounds metally.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's fine.
Okay.
About the alternator. It's fine. It's holding. Look at it, just sitting there idling away. Look at see the gas pedal? I had to shorten it. Great, huh? Boy, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody build a finer truck since. This thing's perfect. Great. Well, I guess now I need to put water in it and transmission fluid. And we can try driving. Yep. Okay, the time has finally come. Need to put ATF in it, fill it up with water. I'm airing up one of the tires, get it on the ground. Then we're ready to see if this abomination will actually work. Oh good, there's more holes in this radiator than there used to be.
So let me see if I can do something about that real quick. Just slap some steel stick on that baby, just like that. Perfect. That didn't work too well. So I have deduced that I will do everything and then put water in it and then try to drive it. So the last thing I'm gonna add is water. So now let's top off this transmission. We're at least about a gallon low. Oh. Also has a freeze plug leaking. What a shocker. You know, everything out here, freeze plugs are gone, radiators are junk. That's the biggest drawback to desert cars. Dang, just gonna need a little bit more. Reading right at full. Now typically on a radiator, or on a automatic transmission. Oh, no, that's good. Yeah, you know, that's great. What's it leaking from? Oh, it's leaking back there, where the speedometer cable goes in. Oh.
And fixed professionally.
Okay, let's try this again. By the way, I know you're already probably screaming, you didn't hook up a kickdown, you didn't hook up a kickdown. I know, I didn't. But just to test it, I'm not taking this thing down the interstate. It'll be fine. Yes, I'm fully aware you can kill a torque flight without a kickdown in a relatively short amount of time. But this thing is probably maybe just going down the road a little bit. I just want to test it, see if it all works before I order a kickdown cable. My plan was initially to use the original gas pedal and kickdown that's all made into one. That was like on the Chrysler that this engine came out of, but absolutely not even remotely close to working on this. So, kind of one of those things where not any other option. I'm just gonna have to, you know, be a little judicious. I'm not gonna be hard on it. I just want to see if it'll move around. I'm not going to be doing burnouts or anything. It'll be alright. I promise I'm not going to kill this 727. It might already be dead too. Who knows? It might not work at all. I have no idea. There we go. It is on the ground. Okay, let's try this again. Remember, we've only got a limited amount of time before this runs out of water. Oh, there's even a hole in the water neck. Perfect. It's leaking everywhere. More than one freeze plug is rusted out. The water neck's got a pinhole in it. The radiator's full of holes. This is perfect. There they are. Almost lost these. That'd have been bad. Alright, I guess we'll see if it'll... Probably won't start now. exactly what I thought. It leaks from everywhere. Even the water neck has a hole in it. More than one freeze plug are out. Kind of like your wagon. Transmission works great.
The transmission ain't bad at all.
You know, if we had any batteries that weren't dead,
Oh, you need one.
I need a battery. Fucking convenient. Right there in the floor.
Yeah, these 50s cars are way better.
They don't make them like they used to.
No.
All right, let's try this again.
Are we going around the block?
Yeah, we should probably try.
You got any way to control the TV cable?
No.
Okay.
That'll be all right.
Yeah, just don't floor it or anything.
Yeah. I cleaned out the interior for you.
Yeah, this is nice. Oh, it runs great.
I know.
You sure that fuel pump works?
It was.
Here, Buff will give you something.
Maybe. Watch, it's just running.
Maybe it's flooded. I think your fuel pump's bad. Oh!
No, I think it's fine.
Oh boy.
Does not like going into gear. As soon as you put it in gear, it just dies.
As soon as you ask it for needing more fuel.
Carburetor's almost brand new.
Go.
What a great truck! Hey,
Yeah.
it just shifted. It just shifted.
It did.
Maybe the kickdown, maybe it's actually giving it line pressure right now. I didn't look at it.
Yeah, it's kind of stuck
Yeah.
halfway or something.
Yeah.
That'd be alright.
I'm fine with that. Wow. What a... It's all working kind of, though. I mean,
It's not that bad.
no.
This is definitely a prototype.
Yes. I can't believe it's working.
Not half bad.
No, it's really not bad. There's not even really any play in the steering. Oh, it's really good compared to the Jimmy.
Smell a lot of oil.
No.
Oh yeah, okay.
No. It's not oil. It does smell like something
about the only good torque flight in the area in this thing.
This thing actually went into gear a lot better than any other one I've acquired out here. I mean, it seems great. Pretty healthy 413 too.
Yeah, it's running on at least 6.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Decent old truck.
Yeah, this was worth doing.
Yeah. I mean, considering it was going to be shredded.
Yeah, this thing was bound for the scrapper. It was in a junkyard in pieces like a week ago. Oh, let's take this corner.
Don't hit the dumpster.
Oh yeah, dude.
Heck yeah.
No way to stop it. Gotta kind of.
It rolls great. Man, it just keeps going. God.
Oh
Yeah.
Right in the middle of your driveway.
Perfect. That's where it needed to be.
Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I now have got to turn my attention to the Blue Collar Drags car, aka the 61 Chrysler, my other previous junkyard build, which I will be putting the link in the description to buy your tickets. Please do that if you want to see all of us at Blue Collar Drags this October. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and you'll see more of this truck hopefully in the next few months.
Of necessity.
Yeah.